Alright, guys, this is going to be a shoot from the hip stream of consciousness video. This is not something like I've normally done, but maybe I'll start doing videos like this. I don't know. It is 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific. I just got the notification that Quinn Hughes is being traded to Minnesota. And I'm completely shocked, but I'm also not shocked. I am approaching 29 years old. I've been a Vancouver Canucks fan my entire life since I first formed memories. I've been a Canucks fan. I've always followed the team very closely, probably more closely than others, if I'm being totally honest. I'm a huge hockey nerd. I love all of the, going on Cap Friendly back when that was a thing, Puckpedia, General Fanager, looking at all the salary caps and the trades and the waivers and the signings and all that stuff. I love it. I eat it up. For me, Christmas like my hockey Christmas is that like third week of June, fourth week of June, when it's like the draft is happening and the free agency period is winding up and the Twitter rumors and checking on TSN, Sportsnet, ESPN, all these different rumors. I'm big on this, on that side of the things as well, of course, with watching hockey. Now, I remember vividly when the Canucks dropped to 7th overall in the 2018 draft, and the thought back then was, man, this Quinn Hughes guy is unreal. He's going to be a hell of a defenseman in the future, and it would be so incredible for the Canucks to get him, but they're probably not going to get him. He won't fall that far. And you see Arizona picks, I forget his name. Let me look it up really quick. Arizona made the draft pick in 2018, 5th overall. Who was that again? Barrett Hayton. They picked Barrett Hayton, who jumped up considerably. And then Detroit picks Philip Zadina, when that was like, holy shit, even he fell, which landed Quinn Hughes right in the lap. You see Jim Benning and the assistant GM at the time, all giddy and excited. We can't believe we got him. We can't believe we got him. We have this whole family connection. It was great. And I went to the game, the first game where Bo Horvat got his captaincy, and I believe that Quinn Hughes also scored his first goal, or Quinn Hughes had like a multi-point game that game, and it was a crazy like blowout when they played the Kings. I think they won like 6-0 or 6-1 or something crazy like that. So I've seen everything. I've seen Quinn Hughes, become an elite superstar player in the NHL, one of the best players in the league. You see him breaking all these rookie records back then, all these point records. It felt like within 3 months of him playing for the team, he was already the Canucks all-time best defenseman. That's no shade towards Alex Edler or Jyrki Lume, Jovanovski, any of those guys. It's just in terms of pure talent and point production and just having an all-around game, Hughes was number one, and there's absolutely no discussion about it. Now, when you talk about overall players, there's, you could go a few different directions you can go. Is it Luongo? Is it McLean? Is it Linden? Is it Pavel Bure would be a pick for a lot of people, Marcus Naslund? Who knows, right? There's a lot of different picks. For me, in my opinion, I believe that Quinn Hughes is that number one best player, followed by Bure, if you go by skill. And then maybe like Prime Pedersen, but that's a whole nother conversation, the whole Pedersen thing. But yeah, I got this notification, and I thought, first thing was, oh, that's a funny like meme trade, because you've seen a lot of those lately where these like meme trades come up, and it's like, oh, Hughes traded to New Jersey for a bag of pucks and Dougie Hamilton and a second and whatever, and it's like, get a grip, that's not happening. And then it actually happens, and there's no lead up. It's just boom, just like that, trade happened. Hughes to the Wild. Here's the return. So, now that I've had a second to breathe and just talk myself through it, I'm gonna look at the return really quick. So, it is 3 former first-round picks. You have 24-year-old center Marco Rossi. You have 21-year-old left winger Liam Ugrin, I believe is the pronunciation. And you, of course, have 20-year-old defenseman Zeev Boyum. And you have the first for 2026 coming up in 6 months or so. So, as far as the return, I'm sure it's a good return where you're kind of happy with what you're getting. I'm just going to look at all their points for this year. So, Marco Rossi... Puckpedia has him as injured. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I have to be honest with you guys. I don't follow Minnesota super closely in terms of like who's injured and who's playing well like day to day. I'd be lying if I said I did know. So Zeev Boyum will start here. So 20 years old, left shot D, 6 foot, 185. This season, 3 goals, 11 assists for 14 points in 31 games. Like that's respectable for a 20-year-old for offensive production. people talk about how his defense game needs a bit of work, but I mean, guy's 20 years old. What are you really going to expect? It looks like he actually just turned 20 December 7th, so he's a fresh 20-year-old. So yeah, I wouldn't be too bothered about his defensive acumen as of yet, but we'll see how that goes. Marco Rossi's been good so far. 4 goals, 9 assists for 13 points in 17 games. 24 years old. He is again on the smaller side, so we'll see who they play him with. I mean, Rossi, I'm assuming he'd obviously go up the middle. I wouldn't think you'd put Garland with him. I think you'd put Garland with like Petey still. Yeah, you'd go maybe like Besser, Rossi, and Leckermacky or Garland. Who knows? I don't even. Yeah, I wouldn't put Garland. I know they've been playing Garland and Besser recently together, but I wouldn't put Garland and Rossi. But who knows? It's Adam Foote, and he's done all kinds of stuff this season already. And then you have Liam Ugrin. I'm just gonna pronounce it as Ugrin because that's what I've heard. 0 points through 18 games. Pretty rough advanced stats so far for this year. 21 years old, 6'1", 187. He was the 19th overall pick in 2022. So again, he is definitely a younger guy. I wouldn't call him a reclamation project yet. That would be, I think, a bit harsh. You have his Iowa Wild stats from 24-25 last season. 37 points in 41 games. 19 of those were goals. I mean, that's close to point per game, which is extremely good for a 20-year-old. I'd say in the AHL, that's very hard to accomplish. And then that season with the NHL Minnesota Wild, he had 5 points, 2 of them goals in 24 games. So bit of a slow start offensively. And of course this year it's kind of a similar pace, or I mean 0-point pace, but that won't keep up, of course. So we'll see how he can transition to Vancouver. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. I mean, what do you say? Like, it just feels like a failure by the Canucks. Like, this is a guy who has been so loyal to the team, signed a crazy team-friendly deal. Even at the time, it was, if I'm not mistaken, 7.8 by 6 years. If memory serves, Hughes and Petey signed their deals, I believe it was the exact same time. And even back then, everyone was scared that he might get walked to UFA or that he might want to leave and go play with Jack. That was always kind of a, kind of on the side thing that people thought about, but it was never a focal point until Jim Rutherford went out himself and just said it in the media for absolutely no reason that Hughes might want to go play with his brothers, and that just created an entire stir of issues in the Vancouver market where every single day it's Quinn Hughes getting traded, Quinn Hughes getting traded, Quinn Hughes going to leave in free agency. Just exhausting. And you read about, he's going to go to New Jersey over and over and over. And then where does he go? He goes to the Wild. And who knows, maybe he'll resign there, maybe he won't, but he's got a heck of a supporting cast there. I mean, the Wild have been one of the bright spots, underrated bright spot for a young rebuild that's been working out great so far. I mean, you look at the moves, the trades, the signings that Bill Guerin has done. They have the old Canucks head of scouting over there. I don't remember off the top of my head what his name was, but I know that he's there now. And I know that the Canucks fan base was upset to see him go, but I mean, Hughes has Kaprizov to dish the puck to, Boldy, Eriksson Ek, Tarasenko's having a decent year even. You got Zuccarello just up front. I mean, Danila Yurov is coming into his own. Brock Faber's been outstanding. What a crazy steal of a trade from LA. Jared Spurgeon's always holding it down. Jonas Brodin, one of the best defensive defensemen in the league, and not a lot of people talk about him. Jacob Middleton's solid. Bogosian's still hanging in there. David Juracek is coming up. Like, you've got a solid foundation on D. And then, of course, the goaltending, I mean, is just outstanding. Philip Gustafsson and Jesper Wallstedt, both are signed for the next couple seasons at pretty fair deals. Now, you have to wonder what's going to happen with the two, because Wallstedt, it looks like he's going to supersede Gustafsson for the starting position. But who knows how that's going to go, if someone gets traded or if they live with it, in harmony in some way. Obviously, sometimes with young goalies, you have the Askarov situation where, UC Saros signs that huge 8-year deal, and Askarov goes, well, I got to get out of town now and find somewhere else where I can be a starter in San Jose, picks him up, and all of a sudden he's a starting goalie now. So who knows if Wallstedt will want to go down that same route, since Gustafsson did just sign his new deal not too long ago, if memory serves. I'm just going to look at that right now. October 4th, so that was a couple months ago. So who knows? But what I do know is that Minnesota's in a fantastic cap situation. Obviously, they are coming off of the whole Parise Suter buyouts. They're past their awful window of cap charges. So I mean, they're easily a Stanley Cup contender now, I feel like. I'm sure everyone's going to be talking about them more and more once the Olympics starts firing up and past that break and the trade deadline. I'm sure there's going to be more moves to come on their part to beef up, because I'm sure they don't want to just sit around and waste the season like the Canucks have done over and over with having Hughes here and not supporting him with other talent. Same thing could be said with PD too. I mean, the wingers that PD has had are just not good enough. You had different times where he was with Miller. Elias Lindholm was great for the short time. Tyler Toffoli was great for the short time he was here. But I mean, guys like Mikheyev and Sprong, like the management team has failed him so many times. Being Jim Benning, Patrick Alvin, Jim Rutherford, all of them have just failed this young core. They've not been able to build a supporting cast, and it's just embarrassing. It's really embarrassing, and they just continue to alienate the fans. I don't know why people are going to games this season. Like, I always go to at least one, maybe 2 or 3 games per season that I buy for tickets, and I always get like a few from work or whatever else. But this year I've gone to no Canucks games. I've had no ideations of buying tickets to go to any Canucks games. Last year, I mean, year over year, I go to tons of Abbotsford games. I go to probably a dozen between the regular season and the playoffs. Last season I went to 7 in the playoffs alone when they won the cup. I haven't gone any this year because they've just been a complete disaster down there. I think they're the worst team in the AHL. The Canucks are the worst team in the NHL, and it's not going to get any better. Even though, again, the return is, I'm sure it's okay. I mean, it's hard to be objective with that right now, just with how crazy and emotional this is for Canucks fans. Yeah. It's just hard to come to terms with this and to come up with words for it. It's right up there in terms of dark days with, the whole Messier saga, taking number 11 when it was already retired, taking the captaincy from Trevor Linden, the Trevor Linden trade, the McLean trade, the Burry trade. I remember being a little kid when Naslund left for New York Rangers in free agency. Like, there's been a lot of dark days, but this really feels like one of the worst. Who knows when, if ever, another defenseman will come along and you'll be able to say, this guy's better than Quinn Hughes. Right? I don't know if I'll ever be able to say that. And I'm 28 years old, like I said before. Like, will there come a time where we'll say there's someone better than Quinn Hughes? I don't know. And it feels like it's not going to happen. And they completely blew their opportunity to build around him, to build a franchise potential cup-winning team around him, except for the 1 year when they played Edmonton in the second round of the playoffs, when they had Stelovs playing, who played outstanding. They have guys injured like Brock Besser, and just a nightmare. This is one of the worst things ever. It's hard to believe that this is really happening right now. And, I'm listening to myself and it feels like, oh, it's so, there are real problems in this world. This is a sports team, but like, man, like, I've put so much of my hours and so much emotional investment into this team, years and years and years of being a fan and going to games and buying merch, and I just don't know. So that's my initial reaction. I had to get it off my chest. I had to put it on something because I just can't sit here and just stew on it. I had to just get it out. So very disappointing. I don't know when I'm going to be watching this team again. I don't know if it's going to be soon or far away. But right now, I just don't think I can do it. I think I got to find something else to do with my free time and just forget about the Canucks and keep focusing on being a fan of hockey, and I'll watch Quinn Hughes and I'll follow everything going along. But yeah, this is just a really hard day. So hope you liked my misery in this video, and I guess I can't say go Canucks go right now, but I wish I was. So thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave a rating or a comment. Anyone out there who's a Canucks fan who has similar feelings, I'd love to hear from you. So thanks again, and talk to you later.